Okay, hello and welcome to week 12 review, where we're going to go through my trades for the week. It wasn't many, but we'll go through them anyway. And then we're also going to show you the settings of the indicators that I use here to draw on the previous daily levels and all that sort of good stuff. Asian session, London session. There's a few people who've been asking me, and I keep forgetting to actually show them. So we'll do that first, so that's out of the way. Here we go. Okay, so these are the two indicators that I use in my charts. All my trading is done on the M15 time frame, to probably say that first. And then I use ICT Killzones and Pivots, which is this one here. And that draws on the sessions for me. As you can see, the sessions on and off. Blue is Asian, red is London. Green I don't trade, that's the New York morning session. But I only trade the Asian break during the London session. And I'll show you these settings, I've got on those in a second now. And then we also have this one here, which is the SpacemanBTC key level version 13.1 for me. And what this one does, it draws on, as you can see, the previous day high, low, and a weekly high, low, and other things, and just little key features that I want on there. Those are the only two indicators I use. Sometimes I'll put the EMAs on so I can see as well, but they are by all means not essential. But sometimes they help, they give you a little guide. So we'll turn those off just for clarity. I like to keep my charts nice and clean, as you can see. So we'll have a look at the settings now on the ICT Killzones and Pivots first. So here we are, these are my settings. I'll try and go slow in case you want to copy them down. But really just set them how you want. As long consistency is the key. It doesn't really matter if my Asian session time is a little bit different to your Asian session time, and etc, etc. You know, as long as you're consistent and you learn to work with whatever setup you've got. So don't worry if yours are a little bit different. I know my Asian session is not the same as everyone else's. I think I do, everything's in UK time, but I do 12 o'clock through to 4 o'clock. So 12 at night till 4 in the morning UK time is my Asian session. I understand it carries on further past that, and that's fine. It's just what I've always used and it works, so why change it? So these are the settings here. Let's have a look at what we got. Session drawing limit 5, time frame limit 30, kill zone, time zone, American New York, and then I just allow for that when I put the times in further down here for the UK time. Label size small, text color that little grey color, draw cutoff time 1 minute past 12, and then this is the main part here. So you've got the Asian session, as you can see is this blue section here, London session, and then New York AM session. Because I don't trade that far into the day, I like to be done. So really I don't even need that, to be honest. I like to be done just on this morning section here. So I only trade until about 12 o'clock at the latest. Start trading just before, well, about 8 maybe, you know, give or take. I'll look at the charts before then and narrow down my pairs. We could go through that as well. That's a good idea. I'll show you how I do that as well. So here we go. We got the Asian session. These are UK offset times. So we got 7 o'clock at night till 11 o'clock in the evening. That equates to 12 o'clock through to 4 o'clock in real times, because remember I've got this set to American time. I'm sure you can change it to UK time. It really doesn't matter. As long as it draws the correct thing for you to use, it's fine. London session, I've got 3 AM to 6 AM. So just the first 3 hours in the morning there, which equates to 8 o'clock until 11 o'clock. Because I won't be trading after 11 if it breaks up. Not usually anyway, maybe the odd time, but generally I'm done by then. I'll be in active trades and I might manage them after that, but I won't be taking new trades after then on this setup. New York session doesn't really matter, it's more just there to tell me to stop trading. So that's at 1:30 UK time, which equates to 8:30 in the morning, and then through to 10 o'clock in the morning on the offset time here. You can also change your time zone down here and make it easier for you to set up. It's just how I've got it. Again, it doesn't really matter. Box transparency 80, text transparency 80. And then kill zone pivots. We've got show pivots, show pivot labels. What have we got down here? Kill zone 1 label. This is just the labels for them. As you can see, it's got a little name above and below here. See? You can see that okay, hopefully. Got London high, London low, Asian high, Asian low, New York AM high, New York AM low. That's just these names here, so feel free to copy them or put whatever names you want to put in yours as well. So we got AS high is obviously Asian high, AS.L is Asian low. That's in time zone 1, which is this one here. Then in time zone 2, which is London, we have LO.H, so London high, and LO.L for London low. And it's pretty obvious, I'm sure you can work that out. And that's about it really. We have show average text, I'm not sure what that does. We have unlimited ticked here, but then nothing is selected, so that doesn't do anything. Show the day of the week, I quite like that. So I think that's this bit here. So it's easier to see when you're looking back through the chart. Thursday, Friday, etc. Again, you don't need that. It makes no difference to the actual trade plan or setup. So we got midnight open. That's quite a useful one. A lot of people forget about that. I'll show you that now. That is down here. See this level here? That is just 12 o'clock our time. I think, yes. Which is, or was it 12 o'clock? 12 o'clock New York time, sorry, not UK time. 12 o'clock. So midnight turnover, or midnight open, New York time. And that is currently set at 12 o'clock until 1 minute past 12. That's this level here. You will find, or I find, that that's quite a key level. Price will often reject to come back to that level. It's quite a handy level to have on there. I don't think a lot of people have it on. I haven't seen many people with it on. But if you want it on, it's there. And I have it on, so there you go. And that is it. What have we got down here? Timestamps, 12 o'clock till 12:01. And that's it. It doesn't really, there's nothing else to see on there. So that's the ICT Killzones and Pivots. And that draws the session breaks for me, these bits here. Which is obviously, if you know my trading, is what I use to trade. So if we break the Asian session during the London session, either long or short, we'll wait for the pullback and continuation, but only if we're in a trending market, not a flat market like this. Find an example? Well, we'll show you an example in a second anyway, because there's some trades there I missed. And then the other indicator we use is SpacemanBTC key levels, version 13.1. And that draws on, let's bring it back here so you can see. That draws on all these key levels here. See? Previous day high, daily open, daily low. I don't need that daily open on. I had to reset that indicator because I accidentally deleted it off my chart. So don't really need the daily open on, but it's there. So here we go. We've got the inputs. Feel free to copy them or don't copy them. These levels, I mean, the previous day high and previous day low are quite important, as everyone knows. But mainly they give you a target, somewhere to target and focus for, and to be careful of turning points. If you're going to be trading through the previous day high, you can expect your trade to stutter somewhere around that level. Same if you go in, say, for example, just pretend the London session was down here and we were in uptrend and it broke above, pulled back. So yeah, you might be targeting levels up here, like key levels, but then, which is also the previous day high. But if you're breaking through levels on the way there, it's something to be aware of and keep an eye on. So we'll just scroll through these settings first, for those of you who wish to copy them. Again, it doesn't really matter which ones you have on, as long as you're consistent and you have the same levels all the time, you'll learn to trade around those levels and adapt to those levels for your own trading. Don't feel like you have to copy mine exactly. So all we got is the daily level, previous high low. We don't need that daily open, let's get rid of that. And then what else have we got here? We got a weekly previous high low, monthly previous high low, I think that's all I have really on this. Yeah, that's all I have. Got some session times here which I don't think are relevant, but if they are, feel free to copy them. And that's it for that one, dead simple. So that's it. That is the 2 indicators I have, and then I might add on the EMAs, so feel free to add them if you wish. It's just an EMA indicator with 4 values. We got the 20 EMA, 50, 100 and the 200. As you can see here, this is it. I've chose red, green, blue and gold or yellow, and that's it. That's all that one does. It's handy sometimes and can also give you other trade possibilities. You might come up with a system where you want it to break a session but then pull back to one of the EMAs where you enter, and that's fine. So just come up with your own plan. Say you were breaking this and you wanted to pull back, maybe not to the Asian session high, which happens to be that indicator there, but say you wanted to wait for it to pull back to that EMA, and then set your stop loss and targets appropriately based on that. You know, come up with your own systems. Doesn't have to be the same as mine. You can have a session break and then a pull back to one of the EMAs. Just don't try and force the trades if they're not there. So that's it for the indicators. That's all I use. Quite easy really. Feel free to put them on or don't. The other thing I do is I'll draw these blue lines on here, which are just previous price action rejections. So for example, if going into next week now over here, if we were trading, we would put in a line on here. See this one here, because that's a rejection point here. So we'd highlight that. And we'd also put one here, because that's a rejection point. That's all these blue lines are. What they really mean is if you're in a trade, say you're in a trade here, for some reason it's entered trade there. As your trade approaches these levels, these key levels, you need to be aware that you could get rejections from, and your trade turn back around because they're previous key levels. That's what the blue lines are you'll see all over my charts. Sometimes you have to increase the time frame to 2 hours, maybe 4 hours to scroll back, find the relevant key levels. But that's it. Let's get rid of those EMAs just to clean the chart up. There you go. It's looking a bit messy. That's better. Right. So I suppose you want to see what trades I did or didn't take this week. Shall we have a look? Okay, so we're on £CAD. The day was Tuesday last week. Or this week, because we're on Saturday today, so it's still this week. This was the trade idea. Let's have a look now. £CAD. We're in replay mode, just so you can see what happens. You can already see that it didn't get picked up with an unsmiley face. And you'll see why there's an unsmiley face there in a second. So here we go. It's just as per my setup. We've got a 2-day trend going up here. We're in the Asian session. We broke into the London session. It wasn't really the best setup, to be honest. So I ummed and ahed a little bit. You can see I circled this area here. Pull back for a long, and that was the setup. Let's have a look what actually happened, shall we? Let's bring it down to the middle there. Yeah, 2-day trend. We've marked out this box area here where you might have key resistance here. From this previous rejection, we've got our levels marked up. And you can see I was targeting the top of this zone here. My plan was, if the trade went this far into this level here, we should have been able to pull the stop loss either to a -0.5 R or to a break even, and in case it rejected from these levels. So if it did, we'd have nothing lost. We'd just be either break even or at -0.5 an R, which is fine as well. But of course it could carry on that level breakthrough to my target levels here, so it was a reasonable risk. Show you what actually happened now. We'll play it through. Here we go. So as you can see, these are my levels here. The Asian high. We had this level because we were aware it's going to reject from there, or have a reaction there, should we say. And it did, as you can see here. It whipped down on this candle, but it didn't wick low enough. Let's move out of the way to pick me up. So it didn't get picked up on this trade. You can see we've come out the Asian session here. Now this is where a bit of subjectivity activity comes into it. I was looking at this key level here instead of the Asian high, it's the same sort of thing. So we broke that, we're expecting a pullback to pick me up around about here. Put the stop loss under here, key level there. Just put that back where it was. And if we play that through, you will see how annoying this trade was. It ran without me. By the time it went that far, right into this zone here and reacting right from these peaks here, that trade is no longer worth me waiting for, because if I'm going to wait for this trade to come all the way back down here to pick me up, hoping that it's then going to go back to my TP when it's already been this close to my TP, not a good setup. So I think I had already cancelled the pending order by then once it had ran this far. So we'll see what happens on the next candle. Yeah, it carried on up. Pulled back a little bit. So it's reacting at these levels, as you can see. Pull back and straight to target. Hence, didn't get picked up, unsmiley face, because that would have been a nice 2-hour trade. Just needed to pull back. How much more did it need to pull back? 2 pips, maybe 2 pips with a spread, 2 or 3 pips maybe. And then we would have had a lovely trade there. But it is what it is. You know, that's what trading is. I think it carried on lovely afterwards. I think it carried on really well, actually. Let's have a look. There you go, look at that. So New York session is where I get out. I don't stay in for New York session. But of course, if I was in this running trade, where's New York? By the time it came to New York here, we would have locked in some profits at some point. Probably at this high here. Or we would have just closed it. To be honest, I probably would have closed it if I was doing that, but it would have just gone to the 2-hour trade and I would be out anyway, I would have thought. But we weren't in it, so we can't really say it's all hearsay. And that was that trade. As you can see, it came up and pulled all the way back down to my level where it hadn't picked me up the first time. So if we waited till after the New York session, it would have picked me up. I actually don't know what happened after that. Let's have it. What are we on? Oh yeah, we do. We can see. If we'd left it in, which we would not do, because it had ran so far up here, why would we leave it to come all the way back down to here? It's not part of my plan. But if I had, it would have come back in New York, possibly picked me up at this level here, and taken me to TP there. So 2 missed TPs on that one. You can't make it up, can you? That's fine. So that was, what day was that? Tuesday. And then just carried on doing what it's doing. So that was a missed trade. And then I did enter one more trade, which I'll show you now. Okay, so this is the only trade I did actually enter last week. And it's on our old friend, pound dollar. So, which is good, because I don't often trade that pair, to be honest. We'll have a look. In fact, one of my friends messaged me to say, Steve, this is one of your setups, I think, have a look. On the day I was not going to bother trading, because I couldn't be bothered. You know who you are if you're watching. So thank you, though. Yeah, so he'd seen this setup on the chart and he thought it looked like one of mine. Have a look, Steve. Sat on the sofa behind me there, just relaxing. So, here we go. As you can kind of see what happened anyway. So, this is pound dollar 15-minute chart. We're coming into Thursday last week. We've got the usual setup. We've got a 2-day downtrend here. Not the strongest downtrend, admittedly. We've got key levels down this area here. As potential targets or rejection points to bring the trade to break in before then. So we're coming out the Asian session here, went up to the high and then started pulling down. We're in replay mode, so let's have a look. So now, where was it? So we've broken below the Asian low here into the London session. Now, ideally, it's not the best setup. I admit that. That's why I wasn't going to trade that day. And maybe I got swayed into it a little bit, but it's fine. It worked out fine in the end. Yeah, so we would have liked this price action to be more here. As you can see, I've drawn it on at the time. We would have preferred it to be here. Break and pull back and enter, which I believe is what I told my friend. But I entered it anyway. I ignored myself and entered it anyway. I don't think we really need that on anymore. Let's get rid of that. No, we'll keep that to remind us what we should be looking for, and this is what I did enter instead, which I shouldn't have done. but it's Thursday and I hadn't had a trade all week, so maybe some of that came into it. Now there was also pound news coming out, I think around about 12:30, something like that, I can't remember. We'll have a look in a second. Is the interest rates were due. So the plan here, let's just play it on, see where it gets picked up. So you can see it broke the Asian low, pulled back. Here's my entry. The stop had to go quite wide as well because we got this key level here. So it was a 41 pip stop loss, which it's okay, but you know, when my targets are going to be quite tight as well. This would have been set to 2R initially with the intention of pulling to break even or out before the interest rates as well, before the news. You don't leave them open into news. So as you can see, it's picked me up here. So we'll play through that now. And then it's come down, pulled back. Where did I come out? Banded around, pulled back. Oh, so that's the news. So it's already out by then. So this needs pulling over here somewhere. Where is it? Must have been around about there. Yeah. Okay, so open up. So you've already seen the news spike. But as you can see, once price came down to this level here, which I've marked out for blue line, like I always do, and got encircled in advance. You know, we look before we even enter the trade. I just stuck a little snap trade there. Not something I normally do. It's Thursday, it's just to snap a few profits. I'll show you the spreadsheet in a minute, but we made 400 and some dollars, so that's fine. So it's around about half R because we're now risking $800 per trade. We've moved up from $700. As you can see, it was a good job we came out, snapped a few profits at this key level. You can see it rejecting and reacted at that level. And then as soon as the news came in, here's the news spike. So it's a good example why we do not trade into news spikes. It would have easily taken my stop loss and then came down to my targets, I think. Let's have a look. Don't know where it went to. Well, it came down to here and then fannied around a bit. But it doesn't really matter because that's the next day. And we don't hold into New York. We certainly don't hold overnight unless we have to. And we definitely don't hold into news. So that was that one. And that was it. Just the 2 trade ideas this week. One didn't get picked up and would have been a lovely 2R trade. And this one later in the week on the Thursday, which did get picked up. And I was probably just lucky just to snap a few profits on that before the news. And that's it. Okay, we also said we're going to go through and show you how I narrow my pairs down in the morning. So it's really quick, really simple. These were the last pairs I pulled through. So let's just put them back in the normal place. We can untick them as well. So all I do every morning, just literally takes a couple of minutes, doesn't take long at all. We will start with pairs here. You can see I'm on a 15-minute chart. We'll zoom out a little bit. All we're looking for is that a potential pair? No. Next one. Is that a potential pair? No. Next one. Is that a potential pair? Yes. If so, we draw it on and we put a yellow tag on it. That's it. Don't do anything else yet. Is that a potential pair? No. Is that a potential pair? No. Is that a potential pair? Maybe. Let's draw a line on. Tag it. See, it takes seconds. All we're looking for is a general 2-day trend. Nothing else at this stage. No. No. Look, see, it's all boxy, rangy. No. 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 Yes. I know I'm going through these quick because I'm trying to show you the real-time speed, but we'll do this. As you can see, it's just a visual look. It's going down, tag it yellow, keep going through. This is literally how easy it is to go through all the pairs. It takes seconds in the morning. Tag. There's a good one. Look at that. Lovely. Continuing up over 2 days. So we're going to tag that one as well. That one, don't like looking at as much. That's messy. That's okay, but it's pulled back to here, so we wouldn't, in reality, let's try and keep it narrowed down. That one would have been an okay. I mean, this is hindsight after the session. This would be, we would normally do this just before the London session here, so here would be where we'd be doing this around about this level here, before the London Open. Not after the fact like we're doing now, but this is just for example. And it's the weekend anyway. We don't bother with the indices. Or I might start looking at indices. And that's it. As you can see, we've highlighted some of these in yellow here. So then all I'll do is I'll group them together. You can actually do it quicker by clicking on that, but it doesn't really matter. Group them together, and there's another yellow one. Let's bring that up there. So then we've highlighted all these yellow ones here. We're going to drop them into my main list here. Shrink that watching list down, so we're no longer looking at that. And then we've got the short list. So we're no longer looking at all these 20 odd pairs. We only have a short list here of 7 pairs to go through. And as easy as that. We will then untick these yellows now. And we'll have a bit more of a proper look through them. I mean, remember, but this is done before the London Open. So it's hindsight now, isn't it? But here you go. So yeah, we'd have a look at that. It's like, yeah, it's got a 2-day trend. Yeah, we've got some good targets up here. There's potential targets if it came out here and pulled back and picked me up. Which, it's not bad actually. It would have pulled back to there. That's okay. We don't trade Friday anyway, because I don't want to. So there we go. Yeah, so we'd highlight that one. It's still a good trade. And if we were keeping a closer eye on that one, we'd re-highlight, re-tag it now. Go to the next one. It's at this point here. We were looking at it. The two-day trend upwards. We're coming down to the low from the Asian session. So we'd need it to break, because it's an uptrend. We need it to break here and continue. So that one is not a valid trade, so we're not going to highlight that. Move on to the next one. Let's have a look. 2-day downtrend. Came out the Asian high. No, because it's a downtrend, we'd be looking for the London session to break the Asian low for a short to continue this 2-day trend. We're not looking for a 2-day downtrend for it to break the Asian high for a long. No, why would we want to do that? We're trying to go with a trend. So no, we're not going to tag that one. Euro pound, let's have a look at this one. 2-day downtrend. And at the time we'd be around about here. So it's come out high, but we're still in the downtrend. It would have this potential target down here. So yeah, that one would have looked quite good. Actually, it did go down to that target. So yeah, we would have been looking for during the London, after the Asian session here, into London to break the Asian low and continue down, which is exactly what it did. So that would have been a good setup. Apart from it's Friday and I don't trade Fridays. And it was coming to the end of my trading morning, about 11 o'clock. So I probably still would be interested in that because it's a nice break and a pullback. Where would we put our stop loss? It would have to go above here, or even here, which is a bit high. Let's mark it up and have a look, shall we? So if we were going to enter this one, because it broke the Asian low here on the 2-day downtrend, breaking the Asian low, pull back, so it would pick me up here. Stop loss would have to go either above the Asian high here, which would have worked. Yeah, it would have worked by the looks of it. But in reality, I'd probably go somewhere on these key levels. And you can look over to the left as well. That's the previous New York level there. But then once you get that close, you may as well go above the London high, which reduces your RR then. So maybe somewhere in the middle, maybe above these ones. What would that give us? 1.19R, which is okay. We like to target a 2R. Doesn't mean we get a 2R, it just means we target 2R. So we want enough space for it to run down to 2R. So that wouldn't have been a bad trade, actually, I don't think. Let's have a look. So it would have pulled back, picked us up, pulled us in. That's the level we mentioned earlier today. New York Open, look at that, see how it pays attention to it. Came back down to this key level here, which is this zone we marked up as well. So that would have been an okay trade. But there you go. So yeah, that one would have been tagged yellow as a potential to keep an eye on, because we're in downtrend, and it would be at this blue level we were looking at it. So although it's broke the high, if it came down here, we've got this clear space here as well, the price to move into. So that would have been tagged yellow. Go on to the next one. You don't have to spend a long time on these. This is just narrowing down your short list even more. So we got a 2-day uptrend. Again, the level would be here just before London. So Asian would have gone low, would be here, during the London sessions, we'll be looking for a break above and a pullback. If it did, so that would be tagged yellow whilst we were watching that one. We wouldn't have entered it, I don't think, or if we had, let's have a look. Yeah, there's a break up above, so we probably would have done targets are a bit, didn't give us much room for the targets. Let's see what we would have got on the, where the stop loss would have gone. Be below these levels here. So yes, we would have had a -1 hour on that trade, but that's fine if we'd entered that one. So we still would have tagged it and kept an eye on that one. Next one here, that's a nice uptrend. Low on the Asian session here, when we were looking at charts around this level, so that would have been tagged. And same with this one, that would have been tagged. So as you can see, our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is now down to just 5. So all we have to do is every now and again click through those 5 and see if there's a trade setup. And that is how I narrow my list down from 20 odd pairs down to just 5, and it's really easy. And then all we're doing is it a 2-day uptrend? Have we broke the Asian high in the same direction? Have we got space to the left? Then that's fine, we'll keep an eye on that one. We'll just narrow them down, and that's it. Okay, so one last thing, we're just going to have a quick look at the MT5 history for this account, just to prove it's a real account. And these are the figures. You can see we started on the 100k there. We're now just the trade I just showed you, 429. So that's it really. Just wanted to quickly show these for any doubts. This is the whole history from the start there, 100. You can see these were test trades whilst I was practicing with the account just to get to grips with it. These 4 here, 5, however many it is. Then we started trading, so this is week 1 here. I don't know how else to show it, but it just is a real account or whatever, real MT5. So that's the trades there, and that's where we're up to now after 12 weeks. And then this is the spreadsheet, my trade journal of all the weeks we've done so far together. This is the plan, 2025. This is a basic setup, Asian session break, pullback, continuation, targeting previous levels. As you can see, it's the 100k high stakes, running profit is there. Week 1, week 2, we'll just go through these very quickly, just as a quick oversight. There's no trades that week. Week 7, week 8, 9, 10, 11 were last week, done in one video together. And then this is the week we've just done now, week 12. The only trade we entered was the pound dollar on Thursday, was a sell. The Asian low break, 41 pip stop. Holding to 1 would give -1, holding to 2R would give -1. We took 0.54R, so half an hour. This week we've started increasing our risk per trade to $800. As you can see, it was $700 per week before that. But because we've got a running profit, we've increased to $800 per trade now. Taking half hour gave us $429. As you can see, it used a quarter of the stop loss distance required. And we closed near previous levels before interest rate news. So that was a good choice, so it's in green. Scrolling down, you can see the totals as we add them up here. So week 1, week 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to 12. This is the week we've just done, week 12. And again, there's the value, there's that value. There's nothing else to show really. You can see we started off risking 500 per trade for the first 2 weeks. Then we went on to 600 per trade for the next 5 weeks. Then we moved on to $700 per trade for the next 4 weeks. And now we're on to $800 per trade for however many weeks we decide. So we only decide that in advance. We don't randomly change it during the week. So it'll be 800 now. Unless we get a losing week, in which case it may well drop back down to 500. We'll come back to that. But that is it. All done. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.